Um, Welcome everyone to the CV review session. And we have two amazing volunteers today, Elham and May. Thank you so much for sending your CVs as well as a job description. And we will start with Elham because you were an absolute first, the fastest ever, to send your request to be a volunteer. And let's check the job that you have sent to be. And let me share it with you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
No. And you can see the job description, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. What I have done in advance, I put your job descriptions in a doc file. This is a Google Doc file, and I read it through. And I have highlighted the things that I think are important in this role. For example, this role is an urban planner and land use specialist. And the company is looking for a supervisor. Supervisor, most likely, even, almost the first lines of the job description, it means that you will have a team of people reporting to you, most likely. It can be also supervising work, but most likely it's a team that you will have. And this is the first thing that you can immediately bring up in your CV of how many people have you managed, if you managed a team. And going a little bit down, yes, that's what they say. They're looking for a team manager. And who would take care of duties and project work and lead a team, as well as taking care of daily operations and development and well-being of team members. This team that you will need to be taken care of is across multiple locations. So I underlined it, meaning that if you have this experience, you will get 5 more points on top of everything else. So it's a very good thing to have and show in your CV. And in addition to that, they ask for a person who knows sales and tendering. And at this point, I'm wondering, okay, this role is in Finland and a person needs to do sales and tendering. Almost guaranteed that Finnish will be required. Like, I haven't checked it at that point, but I read it and I thought, okay, not only Finnish is required, but is required to that level where you are able to manage documents, tender documentation, and apply for tenders and know the processes. And if someone has an experience like that, they will be prioritized and invited to an interview. And sales means you should be able to sell in Finland. And if you remember, this is an urban planner and land use specialist. Most likely, sales will happen not on an IT global scale, but maybe I'm just suggesting on a local scale to Finns. That's why I thought again Finnish might be required. And I read further. And to be successful in this role, you need to have experience in land use planning projects. And also planner qualification is required. Elham, does it mean a degree? What does it mean by planner qualification?
Well, it was the first time I read about it. I'm not sure, well, but I'm planning to ask from my colleagues who have studied here and worked here. Not sure yet.
Thank you for explaining that. And also I read further and it says it's good if you manage the team, but it's not mandatory, meaning that if you do not have this skill, you should still apply for this role. But most likely they will prioritize the ones who have this experience. And sales skills are mentioned again, ability to identify business opportunities, so being able to sell. And I have read further and it said Finnish is required, with Swedish and or English skills as well, an advantage. And let me highlight it here. And that's it. So, Elham, maybe a question for you. Having read all of that, how does your profile fit into this role?
If I wanted to be so realistic, I shouldn't have applied for it because it needs fluent Finnish, and I'm not fluent. But about being urban planner and language planner, I have similar experience, and also about the not exactly supervisor, but about team leader. Also, I had the experience. But about selling and tendering, of course, I don't exactly get what's the meaning of tendering, but kind of, because during my urban planning experience, I went to the meetings with the customer, which were municipalities or organizations, and we tried to both be scientific, but at the same time address the requirements of them, and we should keep all of their profits in any way. So maybe it also answers these requirements. But about multiple locations, I don't know if I address in my CV or not. And about the planner qualification also, I should search more about it to see if it's needed courses. If there is, it's I can say 100% it's in Finnish, and it's not easy, but it's good that I know that I cannot apply without having it.
Thank you a lot for explaining everything and explaining where you stand regarding this position. If I understand tendering, well, I think it means that when a governmental institution, especially, wants to purchase some services from that are related to urban planning, they say, hey, on the website, these are our requirements. And urban planning firms would bid saying that, hey, I can do this job for this amount of money. And another firm says, hey, I can do this job for this amount of money. And then the municipality, for example, picks the one who can do it cheaper and who can actually finish the job as well. So trustworthy party as well. So that's what tendering means, if I understand it correctly. Have you had experience in tendering in this way?
Yes, I had. So, as you said, there were some ads for this kind of projects, and then we wrote the research plan or the project plan, and then we had some economical estimation, money, expenses, everything. So, yeah, both theoretical and then economical side, I have experience, but I didn't write in my CV.
Thank you for explaining that. And maybe I needed to mention that in advance, but every CV starts with a job description. And the reason for that is so often someone comes to me and says, hey, I have this CV, and we look at it together and it's awesome. It's so good. Everything is there, everything is clear, well structured, education, skills, everything. But then we open a job description and we are trying to compare these two together. And that's why we started with a role that you have picked to apply with your CV. And I, on purpose, didn't spend too much time on your CV because, in fact, when a recruiter will review your CV, it will take seconds for them to decide to move on with you or not. And in this particular case, my feeling is the first thing they do, they check the language skills because your CV is in English, and they go straight, okay, here, Finnish, English version. It might be that language skill is biggest priority for them. And I'm really sorry to say that because urban planning landscape in Finland is very narrow. And you might know about that as well yourself. And I really like that you keep learning Finnish. So you've started learning Finnish. It's not you're actively improving. That's a very good point in your CV. Now, I have written down 5 points that we can have a look quickly in your CV. And the first one is structure. Structure means, can I quickly scan and find everything in your CV? Your name, contact details, you are in Finland, and you have a Finnish phone number. So that's very good. You have a LinkedIn link that I can go and check. One small note can be here that you can make it as a clickable link if you want. So you can write LinkedIn and hide the link behind it if you wish. Then summary comes, skills, professional experience, and education. Okay, relatively easy to find everything. When I was looking for languages, it took me a little bit of time, but then I found it here. And the second thing that is being read after your name, contact details, and scanning is actually your summary, what you have written about yourself. And yes, and I understood it from your CV that you have a strong profile in urban planning and urban design, and even 9 years of experience. That's a lot. Let's have a look. Okay, you mentioned the company and where it's located, and you mentioned your job title as well. And you also, I liked it that you explained what a company does and the scale of it. That's a very good sign. Okay, I'm checking year 1721, so you do have experience. You do have enough experience. And then as well, urban designer and architect, 13 and 17. Good job for portraying that. Another thing that I'm checking, but it's not mandatory. It's only if you feel like to include a job title. So after your name or somewhere on top, it's just my preference. I like to see who you are, how you describe yourself in a job title. And what I want to see there, urban planner and land use specialist. And you have mentioned it yourself that you have experience with tendering, and I couldn't find it quickly in your CV. Perhaps that could be one area of improvement, and if you wish to add that. Also, I was trying to find very quickly if you have led a team of how many people and who were those people. And I couldn't find it quickly either, even though you mentioned it as a team leadership skill in soft skills. By the way, soft skills are very hard to prove if you don't give an example explaining, for example, led a team of this many people. And the right spot for that would have been somewhere in a summary, perhaps. And I also checked for sales. I also couldn't find that keyword. And at the same time, I checked land use planning, and you have plenty of experience in this area. And now, hearing everything that I have mentioned, what could you improve in your own CV in the future when you apply for roles like that?
I think when something is written, for example, sale, something that is not directly connected with what we are doing as architects and urban planner, at least what the roles that I have had, the companies that I have worked. So I start to ask myself, should I write the things that I think they are kind of sales or not? So I decided to write that and give examples. For example, as I said, this collaboration with the customer or going to meetings, the responsible of defending the plan and everything. But I didn't know, should I use sell that if the employer is looking for exact word, and as you say, because they scan very quickly, we should have it. So maybe I should improve in this way. If you agree with me, I should use that words even if it's not completely what I think they want. Uh, and then some of the points that you said, they can really help. Uh, Also, I think I should, as you mentioned, I should add that how many people I leaded or were, or what was the scale of the group and who they were. I think in this way it would be better.
Thank you a lot. And my heart is with you because, as I said, this area of your expertise is quite specific in Finland, and you definitely have a lot of experience in urban planning and urban design and architecture as well. And I wish you to find the best possible fit for yourself.
Thank you so much.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah. Are there roles available for English speakers in this area?
Well, but there are very few international companies. So I think this employer Suico is also international, but as you see, they want uh, this kind of Finnish and fluent person. And I feel that recently, uh, more percentage of job ads need Finnish, as I think that they combine several responsibilities. For before, maybe they just wanted urban planning specialist who can work with English, but now they want someone who is both a specialist and leader and salesperson, so it makes it more complicated.
That's true. This role combines so many hats. It feels like they want to pay one salary and cover three
Yeah.
different personalities. And I see that more and more in jobs, unfortunately, especially now during these years. Yeah, right. If you wish, I'm organizing a CV workshop. I would like to invite you there as my guest to participate. And there we will be learning how to write your CV for a particular job. Basically, how to take a job description and create your CV around what they ask. And it will be free of charge for you. If you can, please write an email to me and I will give you access to that because I can see that you can benefit from that as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry that there are a lot of noise here. I'm in a hotel, so they're fixing something. I'm so sorry of all of you.
No worries at all. It was perfect. We could hear you. Thank you for being brave because it's not so easy to be vulnerable this way, to show your CV and hear feedback. Like, thank you a lot for participating.
You're welcome. Actually, I'm not a volunteer person, but Finland is changing me a lot because I can't survive with this characteristic that I have, so I'm changing myself.
Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that. I think we all like, I don't know if there are Finns on the call, but as an international, I can definitely relate. Lots of changes are happening thanks to, or due to, or thanks to Finland. Yeah. Nice. I'm ready to move May to your job. How are you feeling now?
Mm, Feeling good. Thank you.
Okay. Your role is called Head of Partnerships,
Yes.
and there were several things that I noticed. First of all, I started reading and I saw it's in hospitality. And I thought, okay, wow, if someone has any experience in hospitality, that might be standing out to them. So they are working on bed bug safe hotels, a little bit of advertising for this company. Amazing, by the way, amazing product. And I have highlighted several things here. You will need to build partnerships. So the role is called head of partnerships, building partnerships. And what is OTA? Do you know about that?
Yes, it's basically translating it would be like booking.com or hotels.com. So
Okay, what does
it,
it stand for?
it's something travel agencies. I think it's organizations, travel agencies, something like that. I honestly don't remember on the top of my head, but I think so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they wrote about it later as well, about working with travel agents. Yeah, okay,
Yes.
travel agents, travel managers, and more. Okay. If you again have any experience working with traveling industry, that would be a place to mention that, even in a summary, by the way. Okay. Mm, it also made me feel this is a kind of a high level strategic role. So you would need to take care of many things by your own, end to end. And you would need to develop a pipeline of strategic partnerships. You would need to network a lot. You would need to go to conferences, meet many, many, many people, and try to sell the service that they have through collaborations and partnerships as well. And
Yes.
you would also need to work with product and marketing teams. That makes a lot of sense regarding messaging and partner tools. And I have mentioned already hospitality, travel ecosystem, as well as strong network. Makes sense. And your main job would be building and scaling partnerships that move the needle. This kind of that move the needle made me feel like it's about, they will have lots of hopes for you. And they will ask you, how can you deliver quickly? At least that's the feeling I got from reading it. How your profile relates to this job?
Honestly, I don't have experience in hospitality, so that's something that I don't have. It's something that I would need to do. However, I do have experience in getting into different kind of industries. I mentioned in my LinkedIn about the industries that I worked. I worked with XR and AR. That was also something new, oil and gas, and some other things. I don't have experience with sales, properly speaking, like selling completely, but I did do partnership in my previous role, but that was more of a marketing partnerships, something more related to industry leaders, related to influencers, universities. So yes, I did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you a lot for explaining that to me. First, when I opened your CV, I thought, wow, this is a beautiful, beautiful CV, well structured. I could see your name, I could see a job title that's exactly like the job says. Your contact details here are here. I can click on your Gmail, I can click on your LinkedIn, and they will open as links. And then I could see professional summaries there. It's of a perfect size, by the way. Maybe 3-4
Thank you.
lines maximum is good because it's quickly read through. You have key skills after that, looks interesting, and then work experience. And when I read that you were a head of partnerships before, I felt, yes, exactly what they need. Good job. Then I went to dates here. I thought, well, I cannot count months so quickly, but around 2 years, maybe 1.5, 2 years of experience you have. And then I went down and okay, customer success manager, customer support specialist, 2023, and product support engineer. And my thoughts were, 3, 2 year, 5 years. Okay, if that's enough, and I counted head of partnership and customer success because they relate to the role a lot. If you're able to build partnerships and be a good customer success manager, that's a good, that's an asset for them. And have you applied for the role, by the way?
Yes, I have.
Did they answer?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, we will see. Write to me then what they say, how they answer. So it was a
Will do.
good, yeah, it was a good thing. And then you say you had 10 years of experience building partnerships. It's impressive, though I cannot find 10 years from your CV. So,
Yes, what I meant, sorry, if I can comment there, what I meant
yeah,
is
please
like
do.
throughout those different roles. So if you just scroll up a little bit, go to the summary. Then I mentioned about building customer success, scaling developers community. So I try to combine them all together because I can't put the experience that I had back in Brazil in 2015 because I was working still with customers, but it's too long ago. It's not completely relevant to the role. So for the CV, I just focus on the last 3 jobs because the last one was in Finland. The previous one was in customer success. And before that, it was an SAP, so it was a huge company, corporate company in Ireland. So I try to keep that short there, but I can definitely explain all the 10 years and go back if needed.
Yeah, thank you a lot for explaining that. Very good job. Like when you explain it, then it makes sense. If they invite you to an interview, it will make a lot of sense. Yeah. There were several things I was looking for in your CV based on a job description that I saw. By the way, I wanted to ask you, what does certification mean? Mapping the certification landscape. What do they mean by that?
It basically, from my understanding, is that they offer this bedbug certification. So it would be to map the customers and the partners that have that and make sure that that's scaling.
Mm-hmm. This is something super specific. I put it in my list, but it should not be there because I don't know many people who would have experience with that.
Yeah, that's
Um,
actually what they try to explain what a week would look like on the job. So to understand that, I had to do some research on the company to understand exactly how they work, the product, and so on, to try to imagine how my wiki would look like if I'm doing the job.
Yeah, very good. I was looking for several things. One was hospitality, which is a big point specifically for them because travel agencies would be the ones a person would work towards. But do not worry at that point. Maybe there won't be enough people who have experience from travel. And the second thing that is huge, have you done head of partnerships? Have you led such a big role before or not? And you have. And not only you also have experience working with marketing, which is an important part of this role. The only thing is that might be a little bit like a question mark. I put it in my CV, in your CV, is that it was an ARXR. How to pronounce it? ARXR.
XR, yes.
Yeah, a tech, which is
Mm-hmm.
a little bit depending on their perspective. Will it be a plus or how they will see it? And one other thing that I wanted to understand was, have you built partnerships preferably end to end? As a head, you would be expected to build the whole pipeline, maybe even from scratch. I don't know the state of the company, but might feel like a bit like as a startup, right? Where you need to build things from scratch. And from your CV, your summary says you did. and your work experience says you also led the global partnership program. So it was a good, like, done thing in my mind. And networking, do you have current networks? What is your experience with public speaking? Have you attended trade shows for work and things like that? Maybe you have, but I couldn't find it very quickly from your CV. And it should be obvious very, very quickly and easy to find. And one final thing, like, I was writing so many good things about your CV. Good. If you would have written this even closer to the job description, even though I know it's a little bit like, you did already a very good work. But if we want to improve it even on top of that, then closer to the job description would help. Even a summary might have been a little bit like closer, if possible. If not, then your CV is good enough. Let me know what they answer to you after.
Will
How
do.
are you feeling? What are your thoughts now? How would you improve it?
Yeah, that's tricky because from that job description, they don't use that many keywords, and I honestly don't know if networking would be something that I should add to my CV because I don't know where I could include that as a skill, or because I honestly don't know where I could use that keyword. Then, if you have any suggestions, please let me know.
I would have added it to your professional summary saying that I have strong networks across Scandinavia, Ireland, UK, and whatever market there is in addition to that. Just writing it like, because you do have a strong network. It's not specifically with travel agents, but you have lived across so many countries. You speak so many languages. So, and even like a company in Ireland, then it's easy for you to enter in this market. So it's an advantage for you. I would emphasize that as well. Your summary. Yeah. I hope that helped. And again, if you wish to be invited to the CV workshop that we organize in December, write an email to me and I will add you to that session that we have.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Much appreciated.
nice. For everyone else listening, how are you feeling? What are your thoughts? And maybe one thing that you would take with you on your own regarding your own CV. Who would like to start?
And can I, if no one else wants to? Thanks.
Mhm.
Actually, it's also sort of a question for you because I also noticed it for both May and Ellen also that, of course, like no CV is going to fulfill all the requirements of a position. I think even if it meets 70 to 80%, but I would just like to know how do you address the 20% that you don't have? Because if you have any thoughts on that.
Excellent question, by the way. And you brought so many things in one question. And it's true, right now it is better to have 70, 80% of a skill match. And if you don't have 20, well, you don't have 20. Then you think, is there something I can do potentially? For example, if they ask you for a specific software that is used with maybe in this specific industry or only in this company, that what you could potentially do, if it is easy to learn, I say, for example, under 10, 20 hours of a course, then you can include it in your skills. And then if they invite you to an interview, take a course at X2 speed. And then when they ask you, okay, you will also see you have this software, you can say, yes, I knew it was important for you, and I didn't have experience using it, so I took a course and got certified in this software. And I do not need onboarding because I know very well how it works. Of course, if it is something like Python, you cannot just learn it in 20 hours. It's a long process. Then in such cases, if you notice that the skill that you are missing is the same in many jobs, then it becomes a question of upskilling. And then you decide what you should learn, where, and how. In the case of May, for example, she has experience being a head of partnerships, but the travel is missing a little bit. If they invite her to an interview, one thing May you can do is you can spend time analyzing the travel market for them and come already prepared. You can say, hey, here is a pipeline that I drafted for you in advance, knowing that these are the people I will need to reach, and that's how I would do it, and that's how this pipeline looks, and here's what's happening here, here, and there, and that's how I would work with product and marketing teams. So try to, go one step beyond in comparison to everyone else I interview. If you do it this way, then they will hire you, even if there is someone who worked with travel, because of your dedication and you know what you are saying, you know what you are doing. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. What is one thing that you are taking with you from this session? One learning, one thought, maybe. Who knows how to raise hands here, by the way? Yeah, I mean, go on.
Hey, thank you so much. Sorry, I would apologize because I didn't introduce myself first, and I would like to say something related to me because I was a pharmaceutical quality assurance specialist, and I graduated from Lutz University recently in June, and thank you so much for preparing such a very good CV sessions. Really appreciate it. And I've learned something from this session, and I wrote some of them because I didn't know it's good to add some very brief information about the company I used to work for, because it might not be so much, recruiter might not be so much familiar with the company I used to work for. So that was good point. I didn't know that. And the other thing to be added that sometimes, I cannot find, it is really hard for me to find the exact the exact job title I had in Finland. I was a quality calibration engineer, I would say, but I also work as a quality engineer. So it is really hard for me to find it in Finland. And basically, some skills are transferable. I think that it is possible to find another job titles which is transferable, and I can apply for those, but they are not exactly matched with my CV and my experiences, and that is one of my big problems. And I could find a job which was perfectly matched with my experience, and I applied for it. I invited for an interview. Everything was good, but they at the end of the day they mentioned that they require Finnish uh, language, but it wasn't in the job description. They During the process they realized that it is required, and that was really really bad because it was perfectly matched with and it was the first time basically I could see my job title in Finnish in Finland.
I'm really sorry.
No
Like
worries.
that's happening. That's sometimes it is happening like that. They might feel like, okay, we can go on with English, but then they figure out they interview candidates and they see, okay, there are enough good candidates who also speak Finnish, English, Swedish, and German. Can be many things too. And then they make a decision to move on with them. I'm really sorry. At the same time, when you were speaking, I lost you for a moment. And do you have did you ask a question in that time that I haven't heard you?
No,
No.
that was good.
Yeah.
I just
Thank
wanted to
you.
mention that I actually wrote some notes about regarding this session and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
valuable.
Thank you a
Yeah,
lot.
they were valuable. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And it made me thinking, by the way, there are cases when I work with clients and we figure out that the role that they had in their own country, it's called completely differently. And in Finland, the same role is called something else. And
Exactly.
then we are thinking what to do. Of course, you cannot just lie about how you were called before. And then I say, could you combine? For example, you were called quality controller and they want quality assurance engineer. You can write quality controller and assurance engineer. So try to, if the job was similar to what the job
Mhm.
is in Finland, try to call yourself closer to the job description here in
That
Finland.
is what I always try to do, but the industries are different. For example, if you work in pharmaceutical industry and the industry you're applying for is related to medical devices, for example, MRI, CT scan devices, it might be a bit different because the regulations are different. For example, they work with, for example, in pharmaceutical industry, we work with regulations like ICH and ISO 9001, and they might work with the other regulations which might be related to their own industry, and that's make it a bit tricky and complicated for me. And some skills are related. For example, Six Sigma Lean is one of these skills which sometimes require, or having skill with documentation, SOP writing, reviewing, these kind of things. But some of them are not. You should have experience with those skills.
Hmm.
I just
I-
try to say that some of my skills are aligned with your job descriptions and with this way, and try to make something appropriate for that job.
Thank you, Amin, for explaining that. Thank you a lot. Someone else would like to share what is like one learning that you will take with you? Yes, please go on.
Yes, thank you, Lidiia. It was nice hearing you and May and Ilham. And I think I'm an sustainability professional. And what I took from today's session is that my initial understanding was that if the job advertisement comes in English, then the language expectation is with English, but like majority on English, but then a lower version maybe part could be Finnish. So that's where I was wrong maybe. So I understand it today that no, it could also be connected to a strong requirement from Finnish. And then I think your last addition on this, like how can one candidate can go beyond or ahead of like comparing the others, that this is also something I like to take from today's discussion, because I was actually in many interviews since I arrived here. I'm here like 1.5 years, but at the end, it's not actually worked in a positive way so far. So probably this is something I could try for my next call, could be, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you a lot for sharing that. Yes, please go on.
Yes, thank you. I hope I'm not taking space from everyone else, but just another small question. So, for example, I've actually worked in Finland for almost 3.5 years. It's just that my contract is ending and I need to find a new job. How important is it to like mention some Finnish references that you can have on your CV?
Perfect question. Again, thank you a lot for bringing it up. To answer this question, it's important to understand the whole process of recruitment in Finland. And calling your referees, is it the right way? References, I will say like that, happens at the end. It's almost like a decision is between two people. Then they call 2, 3 people, depending on a company, and asking, hey, many different things, like how it is working with this person, and so on and so on. So if you mention it in your CV, and I know some career coaches recommend that, they say Finland is a trust-based country, and so on and so on. And my understanding is the following. If they call people, I want to know in advance, because I apply for several roles and I would like to call my reference contact and say, hey, I'm at the last stage of an interview at this company, and these are the things they are looking for in a candidate. If it's okay, could you please highlight that in my previous experience? And the company calls and the person is saying, yes, and this what has been done, and these are the qualities that stood out, and the company says, wow, perfect, that's exactly what we want. And in that sense, it does not help you to put the names in your CV. Trust me, it does not. Decisions are not being based on the names. Well, if you know someone working for a company, then they can become your referees as well. In that case, you should follow the procedure created by a company. It can be that their name can be mentioned somewhere, or they need to apply your papers themselves, or you just let them know and they mark it somewhere. So in that case, you just follow with the person one-to-one, the person that you know. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you actually did. Thank you for that,
Yeah.
because it's something I've been really confused with, that how valuable is it to actually like put my ex-employer's my ex-manager's name on my CV or not? Is it, as you said, that many people say that Finland is trust-based society, everything happens through networks. So it's good to know that it's maybe not as important as it is said to be. Thanks.
Sometimes people who like this point of view say, well, if you have a CEO of Nokia as your referee, then maybe like it stands out, right? Yeah. So you decide. If you have space, use it, but it won't help you. It's a
Thank you.
process. Yeah, you're welcome. And there is a message in a meeting chat. I learned importance of keywords, skills, and summary. Importance. Thank you. And another contact says, I never knew recruiters take decisions in a flash, so obviously rejection rate could be high. Rejection rates are very high. Yes. And again, coming back to the process of hiring someone, imagine a company published a job, and then in one day, 80 people applied. Right now, it can be 100 people. And numbers I hear at the moment are, for junior roles, there can be 600 applications. For middle level roles, there can be 300, 400 applications. And for senior roles, there are 100, 150 people nowadays. So yes, when there are so many applications, it doesn't take so long. And they do it the same way. Split the screen in 2 parts. On one part, there is a CV, like Tinder. You can think of Tinder, you know. And the second part is a job description with notes from a hiring manager. And for Elham, I was looking for land use planning, sales, tendering, and team lead. And I can scan very quickly if I know what I'm looking for. And for May, similarly, the things that she has done as well. Yeah. Upasana, please go on.
Hello, hi. First of all, thank you very much for such an informative session. I learned so many new things from this, but one takeaway which I really like it was to compare my CV with the job description. Although I always do this, I add the keywords in my CV, but I really like the idea of, by putting it in two sides, and then I can filter the words on my CV if it is there or not. And then second, it's about the soft skill. You said that it's really hard to prove the soft skill, but it's really a good idea if we can add it in our responsibility somehow. For example, showing the leadership or some collaborative things with others. So that's a good learning I learned in this session. I do have some couple of questions if it doesn't take too much time. First, it's related with your information like email and phone number. Is it necessary to put these details on top of the CV under the name, or is it okay if you add it at the end of the page?
At the beginning,
Okay.
100%. Out of 600 applications, maybe 200 come outside of Finland. And there can be an ATS that filters that, and the filters there can be a phone number used or a location, for example. So it is, of course, an ATS will scan it, but if it's a person opening every CV, then they should immediately see you're in Finland. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And one more thing, it's about the summary. This is something which I always find it difficult, like how long it should be. So according to you, what should be the size of the summary? Is it just 2 or 3 lines, or it can be more than that?
You decide what is comfortable for you. I think it's easy to read 4 lines around that. If it is 5 occasionally, it's okay. If it is 3 occasionally, it's okay. But usually I like around 4 lines, for example. It should be easy and quick to read.
Yes, thank you. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
thank you. Raya?
Yeah, hi, Lydia. Just one thing. So in terms of the ATS that you said, right? So is there a percentage that you can put or an approximate percentage of the companies that use ATS in Finland, or it is pretty exclusively used in many other countries for CVs? Because the volume of the applications that are coming along, as you advised, is pretty much these days, right? So if the ATS is used, and I definitely understand all ATS softwares have kind of parameters that are embedded in the back end. So like companies and recruitment teams, what they normally do, they put a percentage, 70 to 80% you need to accept, and then they reject the others, whatever slot is left after it. So in that context, and there are many ATS softwares also out there in the market. So is it like a few, 2, 3 ATS softwares are more prevalent in Finland rather than the other ones? And if you know them offhand, can you just let us know the names or something? Because, it gives us a chance to kind of match and relate the CV and the job description accordingly, and then provide a context there.
Thank you a lot. It will be a final question that I answer. First of all, it's a myth that ATS systems reject candidates. People reject candidates. Recruiters reject candidates. I don't know where it started. I don't know why people think it's a software that does it. It can happen in specific cases. For example, if a company hires only from Finland and they have a window that says, "Are you located in Finland?" And then yes or no, or do you have a work permission from Finland, yes or no, then it can do it automatically. But otherwise, it's a human being checking. Now, what is an ATS, applicant tracking system? It is a database that allows you to handle private information according to law, GDPR in Europe. So basically, you can use Google Drive for getting all the CVs. But if one person says, hey, I want you to remove all the data, then you will need to remove it from your drive. You need to go to different places to see if there is any trace of this person. And ATS allows you to handle this data according to law. And by law in Europe, ATS cannot actually reject you as well.
Okay.
And at the same time, companies do use ATS systems in Finland, especially big ones, maybe small ones not yet, but big ones definitely use. And some of them use AI and some of them don't use AI. Of course, in the future, everyone will be using AI, definitely. And some of these AI systems, they can rank applications based on keyword matching. And recruiters keep telling me that this rating is really bad. For example, Leo, my favorite recruiter, he said there was 100% match and it was rejected immediately by a recruiter, because it was just keyword stuffing there.
Yeah.
So it's still about being able to go through a job description, analyzing what a company wants, and writing what you have done in relation to that. I hope that I helped. Even if you know ATS systems in Finland, it doesn't help getting invited to interviews. What helps is the job that we have done today. I mean, we didn't follow all the steps, but you got a glimpse and understanding of it. I hope that helped.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely, because what you said is it cannot decide by law in Europe. That is something absolutely new to me. I was not knowing that earlier. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I will thank all of you for being here today and for listening to us. And again, brave volunteers, thank you for participating.